Well, it was a Facebook post that first shone glimmers of light into a darkness Jann Arden had been struggling with. The singer-songwriter was in the thick of role reversal, parenting her parents, both of whom were struggling with memory loss. She's trying to navigate through it all and leaving Arden herself feeling a little bit lost. So like any songwriter, she let her words carry the weight, and it resonated big time. That post was, to use her own words, life-changing. Her journey through her parents' Alzheimer's and dementia is a journey thousands of Canadians are walking right now alongside her. And Arden is sharing more of her story, plus a few recipes, in her brand new book called Feeding My Mother. And Jann is joining us in the studio this morning to talk about it.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
It's so nice to be here. Thanks for talking to me.
You know what, I had to tell you, I read this book through a lot of tears. I picked it up, had a bit of a cry, put it down, picked it up, but I kept reading because it offers a lot of hope and sometimes humor in a situation that can feel infinitely sad. And you start out with a moment in this book, the first time you realized your mom had what you called a big memory loss. Tell us about that.
Well, my sister-in-law had been over just having coffee and stuff, and her and my brother's cat had died. My brother didn't know yet. And she basically said to Mom and I, oh, don't say anything to him. I'm going to tell him about the cat. My mom, oh, we would never say anything. We'd never say anything. She mentioned it 3 times just to make sure. She drives out the driveway, and of course, the phone rings, ironically, and it's my brother. The first thing out of my mom's mouth was, your cat died. And I looked at her like, are you, what is going on? Like, are you out of your mind? And she looks at me like, what? And I'm like, Mom. And there had been little things, like just your garden variety memory loss.
Yeah.
You know, forgetfulness. My God, I do that every day in my house. I'm standing in my bedroom going, why am I here?
But how do you know when it's different?
I think that was such a big tipping point. You know, the fact that it had just been seconds before and that she was asked not to do something and just did it. It was almost like an urge. She just was completely unaware of doing anything wrong.
There's a really great line that you use in the book, and you're talking about your frustrations and always wanting to be the memory police, always trying to correct her, and you call it being selfish. And at some point you had to realize that wasn't your job and to just go for it. But describe first of all to me why being the memory police, because we try to do this if we notice people are forgetting, as being selfish.
Well, I was in complete denial. I was scared. I'm still scared. I'm scared to death. I was very frustrated. I felt anxious. You know, my mom would get into these, she'd be like a mouse on a wheel, and she'd be very repetitive. She would tell me that there was people in the yard. There's all kinds of different kinds of Alzheimer's and dementia, but my mom's particular version has a lot of, she sees a lot of things. But, you know, I was always mad at her. She said to me, you always seem like you're mad at me. And it just made my heart crush. And I was always saying, no, Mom, it's not like that. And no, we didn't do that. And no, there's not people over there. And
Frustrated.
It's so frustrating, and it's all stems from fear, Anne-Marie. This can't be happening because we all know, I mean, I know what the hideous road of Alzheimer's looks like. My grandmother had it. And my mom is walking in those same footsteps.
What difference did it make then to just let all that go, being the job of the memory police and just going with it?
Well, we started having fun again. We started enjoying each other again. I mean, I had to get help as well. That comes at a time really when I was doing things on my own and really dealing with meals and things like that. And I think I was still too naive to even reach out and realize that I had to hire someone to help me with my mom at home. We live in a rural area. But, you know, it's amazing when you just, I had a moment where Mom was saying, well, there's 12 people on your balcony with orange hats. And it finally dawned on me like 18 months ago. And I just said, well, you'd think they could pick up a broom, Mom, and get cleaning over there. And that was it. We were just off onto a new thing. And it was because I finally had resigned myself to stop correcting and just to start. I go where she goes now. I don't drag her where I am.
There's a really powerful line that you use in the book about as a child. Your voice as a child really comes through. And you said, I felt like I was being forgotten too. And that you were feeling orphaned. You'd lost your dad. Your mom has memory loss. She's not the same woman that you knew. And you were trying to hang on to this mom that you knew as a kid.
Oh, for sure. No, it really is heartbreaking. I always liken it to cutting a dog's tail off an inch at a time. You know, it's not fun for the dog and it's not fun for you. And, you know, I don't know my mom very well. She's quite a stranger to me in many, many ways. So the grieving process is long and slow. People in the Alzheimer's community call it the long goodbye, because it is indeed that. But I feel like, you know, I've resigned myself to really treasuring the relationship that I have with my mom now and getting to know this person. She still knows my name. She knows names. She knows a lot about things that happened a long time ago. But as far as what happened 15 seconds ago, there's no recollection. But she's still very funny. Like my mom, she said, you know what's so great about Alzheimer's is that you forget to be afraid. And there's little things like that she leaves me with all the time that I'll absolutely treasure for the rest of my life.
Is there some words that you can leave anybody who might be watching this today saying we're either in the beginning or I'm in the middle of this now?
Gosh, you know, don't be ashamed of it. There's a lot of shame associated with memory loss diseases. You know, David Cassidy was in the beginnings of dementia, so I'm sure that was a really difficult road for him. But get help. Call Alzheimer's societies in your area. But, you know, more than anything, if you're the caregiver for your parent, just go where they go and stop trying to correct them all the time, because it's a moot point. Nothing's going to come of it, of any positivity. So just go where they go. You know, if they want to go around in a circle, go around in the circle with them. It'll make your life a heck of a lot easier.
Such great words of wisdom, such true stories, but like I said, a lot of hope and humor in this book as well.
Oh, it's very funny, absolutely.
I'm glad that you wrote it. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.